You create that content, you put it up, and is it getting seen by the most people? That's one of the challenges or the questions we often have. Am I posting at the right time? Is this content getting in front of my audience? Well, today we're going to talk about the best times to post on social media and multiple platforms. We'll look at multiple platforms so that your content gets in front of the most eyes and it grows your brand and grows your business online. So that's coming up.
Let's go.
Welcome to the Bite Size Marketing Hack Podcast, where you get the confidence to hack your marketing 5 minutes at a time.
Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Rashawn.
And I'm Mark.
Guys, today we're going to talk about the best times to post on social media. A lot of times we have this misconception that we have to have the greatest, highest quality content and just throw it out there and it's going to explode.
Yep.
But I found out the greatest hack is knowing when the most efficient time to post is, because you can take a beautiful piece of content, post it at 12 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and it will just go flat.
Or 3 a.m.
Yeah, 3 a.m. in the morning, and it'll go flat.
Oh, man.
But if you just take the proper measures on learning your audience and when they're most engaged and when the algorithm is working in your favor, it can change everything. So,
I think that's a funny example, but it's like we would never post at 3 a.m. You're like, duh, I wouldn't do that. Yeah. But at the same time, sometimes we're like, I don't know, does it matter? Or we're just posting indiscriminately. It's just like randomly posting and seeing how it works. And so, like, is there a strategy here? And everybody's got their opinion on this.
Yes.
But could there be a way that we could get a little bit more dialed in and be a little more effective? So
definitely.
Let's talk about it.
Definitely, Mark. And one thing I've been learning, even over time, if you want to be on a track to be most effective, you'll have a plan that is stretched out throughout the day, every single day.
Yes.
Because when we're asleep, people are up.
Yes.
Even in L.A., 9 o'clock here. No,
with
11 o'clock here is 9 o'clock there at their prime time.
Yeah.
And then, you got people overseas as well at 3 in the morning that is
we were
wide
talking
awake.
about. Yes, we were talking about this the other day, and I think this is a nugget that a friend of mine shared that I think is really key, that along with when best to post is what kind of content to post at what times. We were talking about this the other day, just how oftentimes you and I, we want to start the day and not with a bunch of stuff to think through and dig into and a big thing to chew on. We usually want to start the day with like putting our best foot forward. We want to be inspired.
Yes,
right?
Definitely. Oh, yeah.
And so if we put big, meaty posts at the beginning of the day, it's just tone deaf. It's like not the right timing.
So true.
And so not only do we want to be hitting at the right time, but we want to be putting out content that is inspirational early in the day and then a little bit more meaty later in the day.
Love that, Mark. I absolutely love that, because I've done tests even on this. I noticed how when I would post long form devotionals and imagery in the mornings, it wouldn't do as well as if I were to post it at 9 o'clock at night after the kids are in bed, dinner has been fed, and everything is lined out. It literally opened my eyes. So I'm glad you shared on that. Wait to share the meaty content after you eat your meat for dinner.
Yes. There you go. There you go. Okay. So let's dig into this. You want to take us into this?
Oh, yeah, definitely. So as we see, the best times to post on social media based on research, all too often we're asked the question, when is the best time to post on social media? The answer is complex and depends on a variety of factors, including your industry and audience. For reference, here are the best times to post on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Pinterest.
So let's go into this. So this is an infographic we're looking at today if you're watching on Facebook. And there's all these different categories and times. We're not going to hit on all of them, but you can check it out on the screen and see yours. But B2C businesses, so if you are primarily targeting consumers, 9 to 10 a.m., 12 to 1 p.m., and then 4 to 5 p.m. I think that's kind of what a lot of people will put out there as kind of a standard overall, is hitting around those time frames. So at the start of the business day, this is really kind of like within those business hours, thinking that I think the sort of strategy here is that consumers tend to think of like when somebody's going to open their doors to when they're going to close their doors. They're going to start to like look into your stuff.
So true, definitely.
And so you're hitting around those time frames. So
I love that. And even as I zoom in beneath that, as we healthcare businesses, I notice it's at 6 to 7 a.m. That makes perfect sense to me. All the buff fitness meatheads, they're up at that time. Even
and also
business leaders that go out and do fitness and work out before work are up at that time.
And also those who are older. So a lot of those, even in receiving health care, are people who are in their 70s, even 80s, and have trouble sleeping at night. They're up early. They're on social media. So for all of those different audiences, early morning can make sense.
Can you imagine that, Mark? Just like you were talking about B2C, you getting a post at 6 a.m. about this new shampoo that just came out, or something, it may be a food or something, I don't know. But could you imagine having that post at 6 a.m.? Whereas, like, if you were to got it at 9 a.m., you're more open and receptive to something like that, a business product.
Yeah.
Because I would turn it off. Like, I'm not trying to hear that. I'm trying to get my inspiration this morning.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just think, I'll wait till 9 o'clock for the business stuff.
Yep. And so even the number 2 on the list, B2B, I think that's interesting that they skip. There's a sort of vacuum here in the middle of the day when it's best to not post around lunchtime, but take a break until 3 to 4 p.m. And I think most business leaders tend to check their email around lunchtime. And if you're saturating their feed with new stuff, they're taking a break and they're catching up on all the emails they might have missed and connecting with different people. So it's not the best time to connect.
So good. Wow.
So there's a few thoughts. We'll go on to Instagram and hit some of those same categories. So Instagram users are on a platform meant for mobile, and that means that they tend to use the network all the time, anytime. And I found this to be true that in general, Instagram, I think, is a little bit more just all over the place. With,
the gram.
You're posting more. You've got to just kind of test depending on your different niche. But similarly, there is I think the common trend I see here as we scroll down through these, there's around lunchtime for, even with businesses, as we just say that on Facebook, around lunchtime, because even as you're taking a break as a business leader, you might check your email, catch up on your email. Instagram is primarily the place where you're connecting with friends, where you're being more relational. It's not as much where you're going to connect with other businesses and those kinds of things.
So true.
And so Instagram makes sense. You're posting
at these specific times versus 10 a.m. where the algorithm may eat you up before your audience can even see it, and you may not ever even reach the people you're trying to reach because of your posting.
And I think one of the things that's true about Instagram too is this is where once somebody's bought into your brand, you're going to keep them. Whereas Facebook, you might be acquiring new people. Instagram, they tend to want to see pictures of the story of how are things going with your brand, and it tends to be a little more inspirational overall. So.
And here's a good one, Mark, too. Throughout the day, having a strategy. I love how you brought up story. You have your posts going up, at specific times to be effective, but having those stories throughout the day, sort of, complementing your post will, also be another way to be visible at the top of your timeline.
That's good.
And traffic people in another organic way outside of seeing them on them seeing you on their timeline. So.
So again, this is research done, not just opinions. So we'll hit just a couple more. The healthcare business, best time to post is 10 a.m. and 2 p.m.
Nice.
Media companies, if you're advertising to media companies, 9 a.m., 12 p.m., 3 p.m. And higher education, wait till later in the day is what the stats show. Wait till about 5 or 6 p.m. to post.
There we go.
And then let's hit on Twitter real quick, and we'll leave the others for another time. But Twitter is a hard nut to crack and definitely audience dependent, like Facebook. It's often treated like an RSS feed or blog feed, and sometimes
news.
And something to read during the downtimes like commutes, breaks, and so on. So really finding those times in people's days when they're taking a break and they might want to dial into your content. So, interesting here. Those tend to be for consumers, 8, 9, 10 a.m. as they're getting their day rolling. They're probably going to check out, they're highlighting the news. They want to know, what are people saying around trending topics. Same thing with B2B, real early in the morning. What are people saying around trending topics in my space? In fact, most of them, there's a space for that early morning check-in. How are things going? Even in higher education, 8 a.m., to get kind of a pulse on what's happening within this space for the day. So what are your thoughts?
My thoughts are very similar. The way I tend to process, I know if I can tank a tweet really fast if I don't post it outside of 7 a.m. or before, or 7 in the frame of 7 to 9 a.m. or 7 to 10 at night. I need to post somewhere in there if I want to, really see it to be effective. So I know. I know from my instance, as a personal brand, on when to post, and it's usually in those time frames.
That's good.
But for a business out there, I would totally encourage you to get around the conversations that are trending at those times, because that's when everyone's on there. That's
it. Well, I think we're hitting 11 minutes on our podcast today, so we should probably finish up. But that gets you guys started. And hey, if you're listening to this podcast, check us out on Facebook so you can see all of this. You can see all of those different times in the video content that we put up for this episode.
For sure.
And
you can see Mark's handsome face. Come on now. Come on over.
You can see where your niche is and what time works for you. So I think that's it for today.
Awesome. We'll see you guys next week. Make sure you rate, review, and subscribe. See, we only ask sometimes.
That's it. Thank you guys. We appreciate you.
Thanks for joining us. Be sure to rate, review, and subscribe. And visit us at bitesizemarketinghacks.com for more resources and episodes that will help you hack your marketing 5 minutes at a time.